100 Greatest Sci-Fi Movies podcast, man. It's me, your boy Seed, the host of most of the things here on the Pop Riggin Network. Shout out to Refried Scenes. It's me here, Seed, film critic with all the North Carolina usual associations, man. We're here to talk about, we're counting on down. It's January 3rd, if my math is correct. If you're listening to this the day it goes up, we're on number 98. We're talking about 100 greatest sci-fi movies, man. Yesterday, number 99, we talked about Disney's Tron and how Jeff Bridges, it seems like he'd be a pretty chill software developer, and I'm starting to find out that that's just Jeff Bridges. So if you haven't listened to the Tron episode, man, go on the Mac yesterday and listen to that. Today we're on number 98, and we're talking about Alita, Battle Angel, 2019 joint, so fairly recent, directed by our boy Robert Rodriguez. An angel falls and a warrior rises. When Alita awakens with no memory of who she is in a future world she does not recognize, she's taken in by Ito, a compassionate doctor who realizes that somewhere in this abandoned cyborg shell is the heart and soul of a young woman with an extraordinary past. Man, oh man, Alita is a cyberpunk, man. It's its own little subgenre of science fiction. It won't be the last time we talk about cyberpunk, definitely. Because this is based on a Japanese manga artist Yukito Kishiro's 1990s joint, man. Series of Battle Angel Alita. No, excuse me. And it's a 93 original video animation adaptation as well, Battle Angel. So this Alita joint has been around for quite some time now, and I know people were hugely excited to see it adapted into a live action animation or a live action movie. And it's a pretty good movie. I'm not as high on it as some of the other Pop Riggins are, notably Rick Presses, who adores Alita Battle Angel. One thing that it gets right is its allegories of wealth and class inequalities, I think. And honestly, sci-fi is one of the greatest genres that you can tell those kinds of stories in without completely bashing it over the audience's head, which is kind of unfortunate of the way they do it here. It's a little bit too heavy-handed. Just like Elysium, which I just realized didn't make this list at all. I don't know if it would have made this list regardless. But, I think this is, yet again, kind of like I talked about with Tron yesterday, is another movie that exists more for the visual spectacle than the story of it, because the technology is there, the science, the special effects are definitely there. I'm not sure if this was nominated for its effects. If it wasn't, it should have been. I think the movie lives and dies by the motorball sequence near the end of the movie, but right after that motorball sequence, it just kind of ends, and then it's left on a bit of a, well, what the fuck happens from here type deal. Kind of like Matrix Resurrections, if you ask me. And considering what came out in 2019, I haven't heard anything about any other Alita movies. We're left on a young girl who's going to stand up to the establishment, but it looks like we'll never get to see that standing up to the establishment, which is kind of disappointing because, I know all you film Twitter people out there whine and complain about franchises, but this is a franchise I would have liked to have seen more out of. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the main downfalls of this joint, well, actually probably the main downfall of this joint, is the villain, man. I don't know if Mahershala Ali owed James Cameron a favor or owed Robert Rodriguez a couple beers or what the case was, but we have seen far better villainous performances out of Mahershala Ali in other works than we did here, but it might also be a testament of bad writing as well, because he's kind of just in and out of the story at times, it seems like. And it has that phase 1 MCU problem where they focus on the hero at the cost of the development of the villain, right? But in movies like these, especially in genre movies, the quality of the hero is directly tied to the quality of the villain, right? Like, the villain has to, quote unquote, put over the hero, if you want to use the wrestling parlance. Remember that speech that Pacino gives Leo in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he says that it's the heavy's job to make the hero look good. But here in Alita, we have a fairly weak heavy. Pretty damn weak heavy. Alita is good. Alita is dope. Christoph Waltz kind of burned pretty bright pretty quick, and his career hasn't been as impressive lately, if you ask me. But he does a serviceable, okay job here. But yeah, Alita it's a good movie, and obviously I think it's a good movie. It made the list, even though it's fairly low on that list. It's still a movie worth checking out if you have not, and if it's been a while since you've seen it, go ahead and do yourself and do yourself a favor and revisit that bad boy. That is it for the number 98 film on this list, man. Alita Battle Angel. Come on back, 24 hours. We'll be talking about yet another movie. Until then, you all take it easy and have a good one.